yours is Space Intators.
Yeah. I decided I love potatoes, and the first part I think about was space and taters, so it's taters from space.
I remember when I asked you, and that was your immediate response. You looked at me like I was a moron, because of course
Space?
it is.
I forgot to record from the start, so at this point I already have the pen layer
That's
and
fine.
thrown on the colors.
Ooh. I love this.
Yeah, because I
How
did
it
the sign on a
reveals.
second.
Yeah. I love that, how it reveals.
And,
And it looks like a chalkboard. You know, like they would have in a cafe.
yeah, well, I actually tried to make it look like, I had the lines, so it's supposed to look like one of those marquee boards. I just looked at old,
There.
the old images of the Space Invaders guys, and I made non-copyrighted. I also made the truck itself, the cooking part, looks like the ship from Space Invaders.
Yeah. And here's the wheel. One of the wheels.
Here's the wheel. Yeah, filling in the wheels. I think I did a good job on the trucks.
You did. I have so much trouble with cars, but we'll get to mine later.
I mean, it's still, it's very hard to draw cars and trucks.
You did it though.
I did. Looking at it, I'm just like, I could have done this and this and this, but I did it.
Yeah.
And I think I did it well in the Worthy Kid style.
Yeah. This truck. I like the line quality of it a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of toggling the pressure sensitivity.
And I like the colors you chose.
Thank you. Tried to keep it with like a blue orangey palette.
Mm.
This is if you haven't seen Big Top Burger, highly suggest it.
Yes.
They're doing a season 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited about that.
Prolific online animator Worthy Kids who did something in Blender that like I looked at, I was just like, okay, that's claymation. And it was not. It was all like, it was amazing.
Looks like what is it, the Rankin Bass? Is that
Yeah.
who used to do the specials?
Yeah, it would look like an old Rankin Bass claymation.
Yeah. It was done in Blender, which is just insanity. Though my favorite will always be Witches on Tinder.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's my favorite Worthy Kids anything ever. But yeah,
We
Big Top
just
Burger.
yell at each other all the time. Or give it to them!
If I were a child. Yes. So we recommend Worthy Kids stuff. And we can link to the Worthy Kids YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think he's hurting for our clicks, but we'll
No,
do
but
it.
we'll link so other people can
Yeah.
see. Share the love.
Support large creators.
Support people who totally don't need specifically our help at all.
No. You're going to look at his analytics and be like, what's your Manticore?
What is happening?
So, yeah, the blue part, little bit like the off-white for the truck. I figure it's an older truck. Keeping with the bluish grays where the metal would be. Just killing it.
Just killing it.
Just absolutely killing it.
Did you do this all in one layer or 2 layers?
2 layers. I did, pencil layer, then a pen layer, then a color layer behind the pen layer.
But the color layer is all one layer.
Yeah, the color layer is all one layer. Sometimes I'll do the color. I think I did the shine and the shade layers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the proper term is highlights, but I just call them shine and shade. Those are on their own layers because I typically like them to be a little, their opacity, I like being somewhere between 50 and 75%.
Easier to move it around to if it's not exactly where you want it.
Yeah. So I'm just playing with, there's the shade layer going in. Because that'd be under the sun. I figure that's the vent from all the potatoes frying up. They just made it look like the Space Invaders thing. And just smudge it up. Smudge it up.
Space and taters. You're clever. I didn't shade mine at all.
Well, I'm not so good at imitating people's styles with people. But for this, I paid close attention to the way he did more of the highlights than the shade. Because I took some liberties with the shade, with the smudge tool. Which, Worthy Kids tends to be starker lines around the edges of stuff.
Now you can see that in the highlights here.
Yeah, so I kept that with the highlights. I don't know. I like my shade to like fade out.
Yeah.
Mess with the opacity so that the original color shines through.
Potato.
And now I'm drawing us. I put you in a potato costume.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, with some antenna on it.
Space and taters.
You're handing out the menus.
I look thrilled.
Well, of course, if I put you in a potato costume, this is the look you'd have on your face.
Sure.
And I drew me as a giant happy French fry, handing out free samples.
Oh, that 3D action.
Look at that. That's a happy French fry.
It is a heavy French fry.
I did the subtle thing I'm proud of, whereas the costume starts out very squarish at the top because there's a body at the bottom. It kind of like flumps out at places because it's just like a polyester foam costume,
Yeah.
not made for any particular person, just one size fits all.
So it kind of moves as necessary.
I once worked at a sandwich place that had a big costume that if it was slow, they were supposed to put someone in it and send it outside. And luckily, I was too large because I would have told them no.
You couldn't fit in the costume?
I couldn't fit in the costume. I did go out with a sign a couple of times, but I refused. Like the costume was just like, "How tall are you?" And I told them, and they're just like, "You can't go in the costume."
Do you remember what the costume was of?
It was a cup.
A cup.
It was a cup. Their foamy mascot was a cup.
So not even like a food product.
Well, I assume something was supposed to be in the cup, but yeah.
Just a cup.
It was a sandwich place. Sounded like Meatball-y the sub. I don't think would have flown.
Could have been.
I mean, I think that I would have preferred that, but I still wouldn't put on the costume.
To a cup.
Yeah.
Come here, we have beverages. It's like not at all. I wouldn't.
Well, that's Sonic's whole thing.
That's true.
They're just like, we have 53 beverages and 0 food you really want.
But they have like special beverages.
I flipped us to, yeah, put us close together.
So we're more like a buddy comedy.
Yeah.
Back to back.
You hand out the menus, I give them a tater tot. I ask, why do your tater tots have toothpicks? You don't touch the tater tots. Tried to make myself a nice golden color.
Yeah.
And then have some complimentary stuff going on.
Plate.
Plate. Oh, smart. Would have colored the plate first and then put the stuff on top of it. But I colored all around the stuff. Instead of just saying, I'll go back and recolor. Big white eyes with little pupils.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest I got to getting the style of the people.
It's something.
Hey, do you want a potato? The answer is yes. Potatoes are delicious. Where are you going?
I picture you dressed as a French fry chasing after people with free samples.
Eat this potato!
Just running full force.
Just turns into a they live scenario in an alley. You're gonna eat this potato!
Meanwhile, I get stuck on my back.
Immediately.
Yeah. Cannot get up.
Just imagine you being really sad on the drive home, like, you can't reach the zipper.
I'm stuck in this forever.
Will you still love me if I'm a potato? Yes, I'll still love you if you're a potato.
I assume you'd help me get out eventually.
I would. We have tools.
Picture you trying to get me out with a hammer.
Oh, I imagined a saw.
I'm not sure which is worse in this scenario.
I think the hammer. Be cute because that's just not gonna do the thing with a saw. Like, you can just cut off the zipper. Bloop. A lot of oranges and blues, so I figured a nice bright green would stand out. Nya-nya.
Final touches.
Also tried to get a good color palette that I think worthy kids would. I think you would use most of these colors, except for maybe the green. I drew a food truck and us as employees of the food truck who wear costumes.
Yes.
I desire praise. Put your praise for me in the comments.
Would you eat here?
Yeah, I love potatoes. 100%.
Tell us in the comments if you would eat here and what you would order.
Eat the potato. So make you chase you.
The Shish Perilous.
The Shish Perilous. And you had a very solid idea for what you wanted of your food truck.
But not an idea for the title. That had to come from Danny.
The Shish Perilous.
I had a lot of ideas, and they were all bad. Drawing vehicles, man.
You did it, though. That's a solid, like, car frame.
It's really hard for me. I think because I don't drive, the concept of a vehicle is very hard for me. Like, I once posted the taxi cab from Entropy Head online, and everyone said, oh, it's a metaphor, and I was really confused by that, and what they meant was I hadn't drawn any doors.
like the diner painting.
There was no way to go in or out of this car.
Like, what does it mean that there's no doors? I forgot the doors again.
Yeah, it was the same thing. This taxi cab just had no way in or out. I fixed it for the comic itself, but, yeah, no, people assumed much better of me than was the actual case.
Well, you're lovely. And you do, it's not a metaphor you wouldn't make.
Yeah, fair. But in that case, didn't mean to.
Ooh, it's a dragon.
It is. And I should have done some of the lines thinner for this one to keep it in the Worthy Kids style. But I fixed the
I'm
impressed.
It's very detailed.
Thank you. Okay, I'll be honest, my brain, I was thinking, well, what's important with a vehicle? Because again, I had forgotten doors before, so I had to think about, like, what does this vehicle have to have that it would need to run? So I put in the details. I didn't want to miss anything. Oh, I had trouble with the windows.
Windows are hard. Windows in cars are hard because they're like, it's on the door, it's off the door, there's little triangle windows.
Yeah, like where does it break up in order to open up the door?
Yeah.
And then the wheels.
Do the wheels on the bus go round and round?
Not necessarily.
See, that's smart.
Just copy paste.
I drew 3 different wheels like a jerk.
No, the first one was too hard. I was like, nope. Doing it this way.
Like the single point, disappearing point, the back tires back there.
Yeah.
I'm using words poorly now.
The perspective.
But I appreciate the perspective, and the tires that are furthest away are still slightly visible, but in shadow. That is.
Originally, I was gonna show just the side, and you were gonna have to go to the back to talk to people, because the side I wanted to have a big picture of a knight in shining armor with the shish kebab / lance and a fire-breathing dragon cooking the food on the lance, and then I did this instead.
I mean, this is what a food truck typically looks like.
Yeah, but the window on the side, and I decided to make the food truck itself the dragon.
So sidebar.
Yes.
Have you seen the grilled cheese food truck?
The one where they only make the one thing?
$1 grilled cheese. There's nothing else.
Yes.
I don't make change. If you hand me $5, you're getting 5 grilled cheese. Figure your shit out.
Yeah, and they don't do special grilled cheese. Like, there's no bacon or anything. It's just grilled cheese.
Yeah, it's don't ask me for a tomato.
Yeah. It works.
I love that.
I didn't like my coloring job.
I liked it.
Trying to figure out what color to use.
I was over your shoulder for some of this.
Yeah, and I did
really
a brick of color.
We did very different complementary color palettes, but they still turned out. Would our food trucks be friends or enemies?
The trucks themselves or the people working there?
Well, yeah, by extension, the businesses, and by extension, the people within them.
I think they would get along, because it's not like, in Big Top Burger, the problem is that they're both burger joints, But ours, one is shish kebabs, one is potato things, so I feel like...
Well, in Big Top Burger wants to serve a good burger. The other guy wants to serve the worst food.
Yeah, but they're both burgers.
Yeah.
So which makes them kind of rivals. Right now it's just flying in the sky.
Well, it's a dragon.
But yeah, I think that they'd get along. Oh. I had a concept. I wanted this little, toy dragon that you could just put coins in his little bowl for tips. And I recognized that it winds up so small where I needed to put it that it's not entirely legible. But you're getting a close view of it, so you'll know what it says.
We know it's there.
Mm-hmm. Please feed the dragon horde. Tips.
And then you have to make it small.
Yeah, so that's where it sits.
Okay.
Now on to drawing you. Yeah, because the
I'm
worthy
an
kids...
ant.
Well, the worthy kids, it's all about 3 heads high, all the people. So, to try to keep in line with that style. And originally I was going to give you those eyes, those big... Oh god, eyes.
Oh, jeez.
And I then decided against it.
And it looked like Ace Ventura on ketamine.
Yeah. It didn't look like you. Whereas these eyes, I think, look more like you.
Yeah.
And you have the mutton chops.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to figure out... Because the limbs had to be shorter, and I wanted so much to make it human proportions, and it's not the style. I was trying to mimic the style.
Oh, yeah. That was a really good form, but that's not how Worthy Kids looks.
Yeah. I changed your pose a number of times, too. Because I didn't know where to put your legs. Legs, for whatever reason, human anatomy, legs are the things that screw me up the most.
That's a really good pose.
Thank you. Ta-da! But I have less trouble with...
Kebab!
I have less trouble with hands than I do with legs in general. And I don't know why. Legs are just hard for me.
Legs are just the fingers of the waist.
No.
No.
No. You once tried to convince me that legs were just like arms, and that's also untrue. Flip in your leg, because you are going to be doing a weird split.
Na-na-na.
And yeah, I made you a little bit more jovial somehow.
It's the raisedness of the foot. The other
Yeah.
one looked sneaky. This one looks...
Yeah, you're doing a little jig.
I just did a cartwheel and barely landed it. Ta-da!
Yeah. It's somewhere between a jester and an elf. Like, if I gave you just one pointy hat, like a gnome, I think you would just be a Christmas elf. The way I drew.
No, I wouldn't be holding a kebab, though. I'd be holding a candy cane.
Yes.
Which I had sharpened into a point to threaten the naughty children.
Eat our food or else. And I did want to use kind of the same colors from the truck so that we would match at least enough while still standing out.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a balancing act for that.
Oh, that looks so good.
And then there's your teeth and your eyeballs.
Yeah.
And at some point I realized the opacity was wrong. There we go. I did a whoopsie and your eyes and teeth were very pale. So, yeah, the gray got darker
And we're back.
yeah. And I wanted it to look like different kinds of meat.
Yeah.
So they're different colors, but I don't know.
You gotta try the meat kebab.
I don't know if that reads, but I'm pleased with you.
Thank you. I tried very hard.
Also in real life, but yeah. I think I also changed the angle you're at a little bit, but then I had to draw myself.
Slide me back a little bit. Yeah. Now you struggle with our proportions because you are smaller.
Yeah, my head only comes up to like your shoulder at most.
Yeah.
But I still had to be 3 heads tall to be the... So I couldn't look like a child. And also I've got boobs, which Worthy Kids doesn't tend to draw a lot of giant boobs.
Not a lot of Jessica Rabbits and Worthy Kids style.
Yeah, so I had to kind of make do and figure out how I would look in the style. Angry and booby.
You look so happy.
Look thrilled. Yeah, I don't...
In both of ours, you are so happy to be there.
I like costumes, but only when I choose them.
That's, yeah, fair.
Otherwise, I'm not going to be pleased.
Someone forces you into a banana suit, that's not a fun time.
No, but if I choose the banana suit,
Yeah.
I'll be thrilled. I had an issue with the skirt, because it's curved lines that should be smooth, and my hand was saying no. So this is me trying to fix the line piece by piece. And
Just
then
keep drawing it.
yeah, and fixing the bodice a little bit, and again, just Yeah, I had to measure against you, like, where do I wind up? And then my head gets bigger. Because again, we're the kids.
Looking good.
You get the big heads. And my arm's just down.
How you stand.
Yeah. I'm not even holding anything. I'm just like, yeah, I'm here, or whatever. You can't...
It's a very Abe Lincoln clone high stance.
Yeah. Like, you can't make me smile, whatever. You're not paying me
You
to
could
smile.
make me be here, but you can't make me like it.
Yeah. And, yeah, I realized that the upper eyelid, you really only see because of the makeup. You're not going to see a heavy crease. So I deleted that and figured my skin is like yours, but slightly paler.
Yeah.
And then,
Especially now, I got a lot of sun.
It's true. So that's
Ta-da!
that.
Oh, yeah, shade onto the truck. Everyone gets a shadow.
Yeah.
You're so good at that.
A shadow, but
effortless.
no like shading, no
Yeah.
highlights, just shadow.
It
So,
looks really good.
thank you. This is the Shish Perilous.
I like it.
I had a good time.
I would eat their kebabs.
I'm glad. The menus are in the back, so you have to like look past us to be like, alright, what am I ordering?
I assume we're not cooking in these get-ups. There's someone in there who's
Yeah.
just, like, in the chef's pants and a beer.
Yeah. Maybe he has like a knight's helmet to put on when he's looking out.
Yeah.
So yeah, rock on.
Rock on. Enjoy your food trucks.